Of course, we're not doing that. We're talking about vacuum truck hoses, sucking. We're talking about doing different things, sucking material, cleaning catch basins, cleaning sewers, whatever. I'm sure some of you guys do catch basins. Most of you are probably here for your credits towards your sewer license. Am I right? But some of you probably do both. We're going to do a little demonstration. Can you come up here and help me? I want to get some volunteers to help me from time to time. Stand over where we get you on camera. I need you to face the audience. Can you bend over now?
Let me zoom in here. Hold on.
No, I started doing that years ago. A guy was dozing off in the class, and everybody started laughing. He wakes up, gets your attention. Air moving through a hose, hydraulic oil moving through a hose, water moving through a hose, suffers from one phenomenon. What is that? What is it called? He got it. Let's say it real loud right here.
Friction loss.
Friction loss. Friction loss devastates the performance of everything we do as well. In other words, the smaller the diameter, the longer the length, you go through some crazy things with air. Well, I don't care if it's pressure or vacuum, hydraulic, everything you do suffers from it. What I have here is two hoses. One's about 6-7 feet long. One's about 6 or 7 inches long. They're 1/4 inch in diameter. I want to ask Tim to blow through it. I dipped this in alcohol before you got here today. Clean it up. Just blow through the short hose first, and try to remember in your mind the short hose first. Remember the force it took to do that. Okay, now blow through the long one.
A lot greater force.
How much? I mean, just guess.
14 times.
I don't know if that's right or not, but you got to do this sometime, guys. I mean, everything you're doing, you're pumping something or somewhere. It seems like through a hose or a pipe or something, aren't you? But you got to do this sometime. It is incredible. I've had students actually think this hose was stopped up when they blow through it, because it feels like there's no air going through it. It'll cross your eyes if you try to blow too hard. This little short one takes hardly no effort, does it? So what's going on there? Friction loss. It takes a lot of energy. Now, what does this poor machine do? Let's say that you've got a combination sewer cleaner. Let's say you're just pumping water through the hose to clean the sewer. Now, I can tell you this for a fact. Through 1,000 feet of hose, the pressure drop is, guess what? 600 psi through 1,000 feet of hose. If you put a gauge at that nozzle in, you'd have 400 psi at 1,000 psi. You'd have about 800 at 2,000. Maybe a little bit less, because the more you move, the faster it goes, the more. It's just a greater loss. Now, how many guys run 1,000 feet of hose on your machine? Because you want to be able to get that one manhole occasionally that's 800 feet. Just how many raises that? Raise your hand. Run that every day. Now let's look at 500 feet of hose. If you got 500 feet of hose on there, the friction loss is about 0.4 pounds per foot. So you lose about 200. It's a little bit more than this. Actually, you lose about 200. You lose about 250 feet. If you left the pump at 1,000 psi, the volume's still there because the pump's in positive displacement with nature. It's just a pressure drop. So if you left the pump at 1,000 psi and you lost 250, guess what you'd have in the nozzle? 750. Double that for a 2,000 psi pump. Now, what is going to do the most performance, or have the best performance on day in and day out cleaning? Well, a pump is putting it out the same volume, but one's getting 750 at the nozzle, and the other one's only getting 400 or 800, depending on the length of hose. What is that telling you? The more hose you put on there, now I'm not saying you can't do it. If you're just using your machine to go out and just run them through a plug and not plugs, and that's all it's used for, 1,000 feet of hose is just fine, because you're going to need that. But if you're using it to clean, is what I'm talking about, where you need that performance of the nozzle to move that material and get it to the manhole so you can take it out, you're a lot better off if you've got, say, most of your manhole section is 450 to 500 feet, you run 600 feet of hose. Now, let's talk about the vacuum side of it. What does friction loss do to that? Well, that was air. You saw it happen. Now, can you imagine, say you had a situation where you were in an alley or an easement, and you had a manhole that had a bunch of material in the back of it, in the back of a house, and you had to string out a bunch of hose. Any guys ever had to do that? You had to clean out and make a mess? I'm sure you have at one time or another, you know? And, I mean, you got an 8-inch hose starting out. I'm not saying you can't run a different size hose, but what if it's 200 feet? And you put a 6-inch hose on there because you want to handle it. What happens? We're going to get into that a little later. In a demo, I call a hose kicker demo, you know, which is really neat demo.